Wan Su is a woman coming from a poor family, but she has made it in life and became a rich golfer. Today, she is attending one of UNICEF's headquarters as a guest speaker. Wan Su speaks about a young girl who was abducted by a terrorist group, but thankfully managed to survive. When Wan Su finishes her speech, her secretary informs her that she has received various threats from the terrorist group. The secretary suggests that they cancel their plans for the rest of the day, but Wan Su does not like that idea. Wan Su meets with Prince Mohammed for an interview before heading to a shopping district in Manila in order to prepare for a fundraiser. When she walks out of a jewelry shop, the young woman accompanying her is shot by a sniper whose initial aim was to kill Wan Su. Her bodyguard tries to take her to safety, but he is also killed by the sniper. Wan Su is shocked, but she is also lucky as a man named Du Yun intervenes and rushes her behind a car. The sniper keeps shooting at them, but he can't get them. Du Yun gets the opportunity to shoot back at the sniper so he can provide cover for himself and Wan Su. He takes the woman to an SUV vehicle and they drive away. Wan Su is shocked, but the two of them make it away from the city. Du Yun exclaims that he is going to find a place where they will be safe, but the vehicle is in a bad condition and they get an engine malfunction. The woman wants to know who this man is, and Du Yun claims that he was just passing by. Wan Su is not convinced by his answer and insists on asking him, but Du Yun reassures her that he is not one of the bad guys. He insists on saying that he was just passing by and decided to help her. Du Yun tries to fix the engine, but realizes that there is a GPS tracker attached to the inner parts of the car. He removes the tracker and proceeds to have a talk with Wan Su, telling her that they have to ditch the car because the bad guys have probably tracked them already. Wan Su asks him to call the police, but Du Yun claims that is not a good idea because the bad guys might have their connections in the police. So the best thing they can do for now is to go to his place since he lives nearby. Soon the two of them arrive at Du Yun's house, and he asks Wan Su if she has any idea who is trying to kill her. The woman gets suspicious because she does not really know him and tries to leave, but Du Yun tells her that it is not safe to leave alone. He says that he is going to drive her to the embassy and prompts her to call somebody she trusts to pick her up from there. However, he warns her not to disclose their exact location just to make sure they will be fine. Du Yun takes care of his wounds and then comes out of the bathroom to take Wan Su to the embassy. The woman exclaims that she did not call anyone because she does not remember any number by heart. Nonetheless, that does not change their plan, and the mysterious savior is going to drive her to the embassy. The two of them share an electrified moment when Du Yun wipes the blood out of her face, but Wan Su stops it as soon as she realizes that there is a spark between the two of them. Soon, Wan Su is reunited with her husband, who takes her to the hospital and asks her to cancel tonight's party. Later, Wan Su also meets with her mother-in-law, Miss Park, and the two of them have a disagreement. The old lady asks her to deliver some bribe money to the Chinese ambassador, but Wan Su doesn't want to have any part in that. Then, the old lady asks her to cancel tonight's party, as her son asked her, but Wan Su refuses to do so. Ms. Park is infuriated, but there is nothing she can do for now, even though she proclaims that she would love to have Wan Su killed. In the meantime, Du Yun recalls one of his old friends and the close bond the two of them shared. It is indicated that Du Yun is trying to get involved with Huane Group, which belongs to Ms. Park, to resolve a case of the past. The head of Huane Group's security meets with Du Yun to thank him, but it appears that the two men know one another. The chief of security asks Du Yun to join him so they can work together like the old times. When it is time for the party, Wan Su and her husband Kim are well-dressed and ready to join their guests. Before they get to the hall, though, the chief of security stops them to introduce them to Du Yun, who is the newest member of their security team. Wan Su knows him very well and feels a spark now that she sees him again. The chief presents Du Yun to Kim by saying that they used to work together in the past. He also had Du Yun as his apprentice in the police academy when he was an instructor there. Kim thanks Du Yun for what he did and prompts the chief to reward the new bodyguard accordingly. When the rich couple joins the party, Wan Su starts recalling her past and how she got to this point. When she was a kid, her mother used to work for Ms. Park, who liked to golf. Ms. Park was abusive toward her mother and used to slap her because she called her madam. Her mother stole some golf clubs and started teaching the game to Wan Su. Wan Su liked it and she was good at it, which made her interested in the sport. After many years, her mother pushed Wan Su to play professionally and sent her to the U.S. to participate in various tournaments. Wan Su was good, and she won many tournaments, often by using the number 7 club, even when it was not optimal for the field conditions. When Wan Su was asked about that, She told the journalist that number 7 was the golf club she had available when she was growing up, and she was used to playing with that one. Wan Su started making more money gradually as she became a professional player, but she had to give most of that money away in order to save her mother from the loan sharks. Her mother got addicted to gambling, and she owed money to some dangerous people. From there, Wan Su started donating most of the money she was making from golf, and she became known as the Angel of Charity. After being invited to the podium and giving a speech about the donations, Wan Su can enjoy the party along with the rest of the guests. As she speaks with various guests, her husband exchanges gazes with one of their friends. Kim and the woman leave the party soon, but the woman neglects that she has joined the party with her young brother. The boy feels sleepy soon, and he asks Wan Su about his sister. Wan Su looks around the hotel for her and finds her having intercourse with her husband. Wan Su is mad at them, but it appears she already knows about their affair. She blames them for getting caught because the place is full of reporters and their secret affair could destroy everything. Wan Su walks outside and gives Kim some time to get ready. The man waits for her later on and wants to grab her hand so they can return to the party together. They do exactly that and start dancing. Nobody understands a thing about what's going on in their personal lives. The woman also returns to the party and feels jealous when she sees them spinning around. Later, Wan Su comes face to face with the woman again as she enters Miss Park's room to have a talk with her. Miss Park kicks the young woman out because she wants to be alone with Wan Su, who pours herself a drink and asks the old lady if she also wants one. Ms. Park throws a newspaper at her, but Wan Su is not going to take any of that. She throws a couple of glasses on the floor while she asks the old lady why she has to treat others poorly to feel better about herself. She also assumes that the old lady knew about Kim's relationship with the young woman, and now she is worried about what Wan Su will do. Wan Su tells her that she has no intention of divorcing Kim because she wants to stay focused on her work, which is to grow the charity foundation she has built, named NOW Foundation. The old lady speaks back at her, saying that she has made it what she is today, but Wan Su clarifies that she only owes her success to herself. Before leaving the old lady, Wan Su reveals that she did not even spend time with her son in the past to grow this foundation, so she will not allow any kind of obstacle to hold her back. Later that night, Wan Su visits a bar alone to have a couple of drinks. As she sips on her drink, she recalls how she met her husband, Kim. The two of them met when Kim volunteered to work 10 days for the Now Foundation. After they met, Kim asked her to stop playing golf and become his wife. Back in the present, Wan Su gets drunk and tries to walk back to the hotel. Do-yoon sees her and follows her to make sure she's going to be fine. Wan Su wants to be alone, but the bodyguard knows she is going to need him, so he follows her. Soon, the two of them make it to the hallway right outside her room. Wan Su stumbles here and there and empties all of her bag's contents to find her key card. Since she is having a hard time, the bodyguard helps her enter her room, and the two of them engage in a brief conversation. Do-yoon asks her if she is happy or if she is feeling alone, but a knock on the door interrupts them. Kim wants to check on his wife, and Do-yoon is about to open the door for him, but Wan Su grabs his arm because she does not want to see her husband right now. The two of them wait until Kim leaves, and then Do-yoon walks out of the room as it starts raining outside. The next day, the crew travels back to Korea, and the chief shows Do-yoon around the mansion. The bodyguard tries to learn more about his job, but the chief tells him to relax as he will get used to it as the days go by. After being asked by the chief, Do-yoon reveals that he was living in Manila for the past 3 months to investigate the death of his old friend Yoo-hyuk. The chief asks if he found anything, but Do-yoon gives him a negative reply. When he is left alone, Do-yoon recalls that he found his friend moments before he died. As he was dying, he was trying to tell him something about a photo. Back in the present, Do-yoon accidentally knocks a picture of him with Yoo-hyuk on the floor and finds an SD card hidden in it. He plugs the card into his tablet and sees some video footage of Hwang Group's former chairman's dead body. Do-yoon suspects that there is something wrong with the ex-chairman's death, and his friend wanted him to investigate it. Wan Su asks her bodyguard to meet and tells him that she does not feel comfortable having him around after the time they spent together the night when she was drunk. Do-yoon neglects her emotional worries to tell her that the people who tried to kill her were professionals and they are going to try again. He claims that the attack was not orchestrated by a terrorist group, but rather by somebody who wants to keep a secret safe. Do-yoon believes that there is a conspiracy running deep within Hwang Group, and he has to uncover it. In the meantime, he will stay by her side in order to protect her at all times. Later, Wan Su meets with her brother to tell him that they need to change the accounting firms managing Now Foundation because she wants to make it an international organization. The brother is upset to hear that because it would cause him problems with the money laundering. As it appears, Now Foundation is laundering money for Huane Group, and Wan Su knows everything about it. Nonetheless, she wants to stop Ms. Park from using them and stop laundering money for her. The brother asks if the authorities caught the sniper who attacked her in Manila, but the culprit is not caught yet. Wan Su asks her brother if he believes Ms. Park is the one who ordered the attack, and he replies that he doubts it. On the other hand, you can never be too sure when you are involved with ruthless people like her. In any case, Wan Su has made her decision and asked her brother to proceed with her instructions. After this conversation, Wan Su meets with the cheating woman to put her in her place, but things kind of happen the other way around. The woman reveals that she knows how the story happened. Kim met her in Africa when he volunteered for the Now Foundation and proposed to her because he fell in love with her, but that's far from the truth. According to the woman, Kim was dating a celebrity in Seoul back then, but he did drugs with her and the celebrity died. His family covered the story and wanted to create a good public image for him, so they set it up in a way that would lead him to meet with her. Wan Su had a rags to riches public image back then, and Ms. Park considered it to be the perfect match for her son. Even though Wan Su can't be certain about the credibility of this scenario, she is infuriated and leaves in anger. That night, Kim wants to have a talk with his wife and tells her that he loves her. He wants to stay married to her. Wan Su makes yet another revelation and tells him that she knows the kid who's around the cheating woman is his son. Kim is surprised, but Wan Su tells him that things can be a bit better between the two of them if he sends the kid and his mother abroad. However, Kim claims he can't do that if he does not ask his mother first. Wan Su is disappointed at him, but the man proclaims there is a natural order and he can't make such big decisions without his mother. The old lady gets back at Wan Su the next day when she sets up a family shooting, but wants to include the kid, Jun-hee, in it. Wan Su is mad because she thinks people will consider that is her own son when they see the photo. The old lady tells her that they are not going to confirm something like that to the public, but they are free to think whatever they like when they see this photo. The old lady attacks again when she brings the kid to live with them in the mansion and moves his stuff into Wan Su's dead son's room. Wan Su wants to get some time alone and gets in her car to drive away, but Do-yoon hops in to go with her. The woman walks across the beach and then takes some time to clean her feet. Do-yoon kneels and helps her wipe her feet before putting her shoes back on. As Wan Su gets up, she tells the bodyguard that she does not trust him completely and instructs him to stick to his duties as a bodyguard and only those. When they return home that afternoon, Kim waits for his wife to tell her that he really loves her, but he also feels neglected by her. He suggests that maybe the solution to save their marriage is to have a second child together. Kim tries to get close to her, but Wan Su doesn't want him. Do-yoon sees this from outside and runs inside the mansion. He grabs Kim from behind and holds him until he calms down. Then he releases him and says that if Wan Su gets hurt, it would make things very perplexing for all of them. Wan Su asks him to drive her away, and Do-yoon does exactly that. As the days go by, Do-yoon tries to find more details on the former chairman's death. He discovers that the chairman supposedly died of a heart attack at a hotel named the Grand Palace. However, Do-yoon reviews the video footage he acquired and realizes that the ambulance took the chairman from another building which has nothing to do with the Grand Palace. The bodyguard is convinced that the chairman got murdered by somebody related to the Huane Group, as well as his old friend Yoo-hyuk, who was investigating the case of the chairman. The next morning, Wan Su's brother comes to see her with a contract prepared by Ms. Park. The contract is basically a resignation, and Ms. Park wants her to sign it. Nonetheless, Wan Su will not just keep her arms crossed, so she makes the next move. She leaks to the newspapers that Jun-hee is the son Kim has acquired via a secret affair with a woman named Jang. The reporters are after every member of the family, but Wan Su refrains from speaking to them. Ms. Park calls everyone for a meeting, but her trusted guard tells her that he was not able to track who leaked this information to the media. Unfortunately, the news has brought bad results for 5 of their companies because their stock prices have plummeted. Ms. Park believes that the public is afraid Wan Su will get a divorce from Kim and instructs everyone not to speak to the media. But as soon as Wan Su walks out of the meeting, she instructs her secretary to set up a press conference. When the time comes, the reporters start asking a million questions about the affair and the child. Wan Su surprises everyone when she says that her husband is innocent and the child is not his son. However, she surprises everyone a second time when she says that Jun-hee is the son of the former chairman of the Huane Group. Ms. Park goes absolutely nuts when she hears this. while Wan Su's brother bursts into laughing. The old lady wants to see Wan Su and snaps at her for what she said at the press conference. Wan Su replies that this was the best thing she could do because she had to protect herself. She adds that she is doing more for Huang Group than Kim is doing, so she does not deserve to be treated harshly. The old lady wants her out and asks her again to sign her resignation from Now Foundation. But Wan Su is not going to do it. She threatens the old lady that she is going to take it to the extremes if she keeps attacking her. She will remain the CEO of Now Foundation, or else she will expose everything to the authorities, including the money laundering scheme Ms. Park has established through her foundation. A few days later, the old lady invites Zhang and her son into the mansion and announces that they are going to stay with them. She tells Wan Su that this is the right thing to do since she is her late husband's lover. Wan Su takes Zhang to her room and shows her around, but she also makes herself very clear. She warns Zhang to make herself invisible around the house and definitely stay out of her sight. That night, Wan Su decides to go for a run, and she invites Do Yoon to go with her. As they make it away from the house, Do Yoon asks the woman what she is trying to protect. To him, it would only make sense for her to divorce her husband. Wan Su recalls a moment from the past when she was speaking with the former chairman. The chairman told her that his heart was broken and had her scan her palm so she could gain access to a bank account. The chairman did not reveal more information, but told her that what she needed would be revealed to her in time. Finally, he asked her to stay married to Kim until that moment comes. Back in the present, the old lady attends a university event, but she realizes that she has worn a dress similar to the one her daughter-in-law is wearing. The two women are reluctant to take pictures side by side, but they have no other choice. Since she is mad, the old lady decides to channel her energy by doing judo. One by one, she invites the security guards to fight her and smacks all of them on the mat. Then she sees Do Yoon and invites him for a fight. Do Yoon is not like the rest of the guards and manages to defeat her. The old lady asks him to pick her up and help her catch her breath while she is in his arms. The old lady likes his smell and seems to be attracted to him. Later, Ms. Park calls Wan Su for a talk and remarks that it's been a long time since she last talked to her mother. Ms. Park reveals that her mother is currently in a psychiatric hospital, and Wan Su is shocked. She asks the old lady if she has anything to do with it, but Ms. Park replies that she is not that cruel. Then she shows Wan Su a couple of pictures depicting her mother in critical condition. The old lady proclaims that the woman is bad, and Wan Su should be by her side to greet her goodbye because she might die at any minute. Do Yoon drives Wan Su and her brother to the hospital. When the woman sees her daughter, she has a hard time recognizing her and believes she is seeing a strange woman. She asks the supposed strange woman to come closer because she wants to give her a message to deliver to her daughter. The mother says she is sorry about everything that happened in the past because she used her daughter to suck money out of her. With that said, the woman dies and the brother, Yong Min, comes inside to tell his sister that they need to pay their respects at a small funeral because Ms. Park has ordered him so. When Wan Su returns home, the old lady tells her to attend a meeting with the Chinese ambassador tomorrow for a line of duty shops that they want to open in China. Wan Su is in no psychological condition to attend the meeting, so she refuses to do it. The old lady snaps at her and promises that she will unleash all of her wrath on her in case this deal fails. Over the next couple of days, Yong Min and Wan Su are being followed. Wan Su feels the need to take some time away from the pressing environment she lives in and turns her phone off so she can't be tracked. Do Yoon takes her to her old house so she can scatter her mother's ashes, and they take some time to rest there. Do Yoon tries to be a friend to her, but the person who is following them gets a picture of them together. As it seems, Ms. Park is the recipient of that picture. That night, Kim waits for them and starts a beef with Do Yoon. He punches the bodyguard and fires him before leaving the room. After the spirits have calmed down a bit, the old lady calls her son into her office and scolds him for what he did. She claims that his wife just went to scatter the ashes of her mother and nothing suspicious is going on with the bodyguard. Then, she orders the chief of security to apologize to the bodyguard and pay him off. Do Yoon has a private talk with Wan Su and tells her that they should start digging deeper into the case. He recalls that Joo-hyuk was investigating an underground gambling club before he died, so he should find out what was happening there. Do Yoon visits the gambling club and asks to see the boss, saying that somebody from Hwayne is looking for him. When the boss is informed, he remarks that he doesn't know this man and asks his guards to send him off. Then he contacts the security chief to tell him about this man. The club boss sends a picture to the chief, who now understands that Do Yoon is running his own investigation. The next day, Do Yoon returns to work and the chief wants to have a talk with him. The chief warns him to stop digging around, but Do Yoon snaps at him because he knows something else is going on in the mansion. He wants to find out what happened to his friend, and he is not going to stop until he does. He tells the chief that he knows the details of the chairman's death are fabricated. The chief breaks and reveals that Do-yoon is correct, but things are not as suspicious as he believes them to be. The chairman died during intercourse, and the family knew that he would be ridiculed if this was known by the media. So what they did was to move his body and make the story look like he died of a heart attack at home. The chief clarifies that he has nothing to do with Joo-hyuk's death, and their conversation ends there. Won-soo goes on the offensive as well. When it's time for the cosmetics company to launch in China, Won-soo stars in an ad for another cosmetic company, claiming that she needs the money to buy vaccines to send to poor regions of Africa. As it is natural, this move creates lots of controversy, and the family gathers for a meeting. Everyone seems to have some bitter feelings against Won-soo for what she did, and they ask her to make things right. Won-soo continues her charity work during the rest of the day, but she has no idea that she is in for a wild joyride. While she is in the car with Do-yoon and another bodyguard, somebody is controlling a fleet of drones and starts sending them to destroy the car. The drones attack the car, but Do-yoon manages to evade the first wave of attacks. However, the attacker keeps coming back with more drones and unleashes a second wave of explosive drones. This time, one of them hits the car and the vehicle is turned over. Now the attacker is revealed to be Lee Jin, one of the bodyguards who are working in the mansion. Lee Jin hops on her bike to check if the targets are dead, and she believes they are finished. But when she rides away, Do-yoon crawls out of the car and then saves Won-soo, who is still alive. As he makes a few steps away from the car explodes and his back is impaled with pieces of metal. The bodyguard puts Won-soo down unconscious and he collapses right on top of her. The two of them are taken to the hospital, and the doctors operate on Do-yoon to remove the debris from his back. The operation is successful, and Do-yoon is not in any serious danger. In the meantime, Won-soo wakes up and asks her husband what happened to him, indicating Do-yoon. However, she tries to correct her words and asks what happened to the bodyguards. When her husband assures her that they are going to be fine, she asks if there are any articles circulating in the media. Kim informs her that there are dozens of reporters waiting outside to get a statement, considering that this might be an attack orchestrated by the terrorist group which threatened Won-soo. Ms. Park calls the police commissioner of Seoul to her mansion to pressure him to find the attackers fast. But she is not doing this because she suddenly loves her daughter-in-law. In fact, she is doing it because every time Won-soo is attacked, the prices of their stocks go down. So if such incidents keep happening, her companies will suffer financial losses. Soon, Won-soo is free to go home, but she desires to visit the hospital again to see how Do-yoon is doing. When they meet, Won-soo scolds him for putting his life in danger to save hers, but the bodyguard replies that was what his heart told him. Then he grabs his tablet to show her some CCTV footage that a friend from the police sent him from the attack scene. Won-soo does not want to review the footage because she trusts him completely now. The two of them hug and they share a moment before Won-soo leaves again. The next morning, Won-soo meets with her brother to ask him to give her the ledgers that depict the financial situation of her foundation. The brother informs her that the ledgers have been altered for taxation purposes. He also reminds her that he is the managing director at Hwayne Group, and he will take the fall if she does anything stupid. Won-soo remarks that she wants to get her revenge on the old lady in Hwayne Group, but the brother has a different view on it. He believes that the two of them will also end up in jail for money laundering, along with Ms. Park and the rest of the family. So that's not much of a revenge. Won-soo insists on getting the ledgers and tells her brother that she is going to think of something to keep them safe. When Do-yoon returns home, Won-soo informs him about the ledgers and tells him that it's an absolute necessity for her to get them. She believes the ledgers are stored in Mr. Han's room in the mansion, Ms. Park's most trusted guy, so she wants him to break into it and get them. Do-yoon does as he is asked, but he stumbles on an obstacle when he realizes that the only way to open Han's house door is his own fingerprint. The guard comes up with a solution and finds a glass that Han has used. He uses his computer to scan Han's fingerprint and then generate a latex finger with Han's fingerprint carved on it. Do-yoon makes it inside the house but realizes that there is a locked safe inside. He installs a camera inside a clock, hoping to find the lock's password soon, but he also sees a few ledgers outside the safe. As he steals the ledgers, Lee Jin sees him and informs Han about it. Do-yoon visits Won-soo in her office to tell her that he has the ledgers, but they are interrupted by the authorities. First, they show a search warrant for Now Foundation, and then they show them an arrest warrant for Won-soo's brother, accusing him of embezzling money. Won-soo follows her brother to the police station and she is allowed to see him for a few minutes. She notices that he is quite calm, and her brother explains that he has some dirty laundry on Huane Group, which means that they are not going to let him go down. Later, Ms. Park calls Wan Su in her office to tell her that she needs to go to Busan to attend an event. Even though she knows something is going on with her and her bodyguard, the old lady instructs her to take some loving pictures with her husband for the media. When they arrive in Busan, Wan Su gets intimate with Do-yoon, but they have no idea that Lee Jin is watching over them. As she takes some pictures of them, a short flashback reveals that Lee Jin has received some specific instructions from Mr. Han. After taking some pictures of their affair, Lee Jin has to kill Wan Su with a knife and make it look like she was killed by Do-yoon. That night, Lee Jin keeps watching over them and takes more pictures of them. When Do-yoon lets Wan Su rest, Lee Jin breaks into the house and attacks her. Do-yoon comes back on time and locks Wan Su into a room while he fights against the assassin. As they fight, Wan Su leaves the room, but Lee Jin knocks Do-yoon to the floor and goes after her. Wan Su hides in a boat, but the assassin finds her and attacks her again. Do-yoon saves her once more, and he fights the assassin at the docks. After cutting her with her own knife, Do-yoon kicks her hard and sends her flying into the water. Then he gets into the boat and takes Wan Su away from danger. At dawn, Wan Su decides to check if Do-yoon is fine, and he reminds her that he promised he would keep her safe no matter what. The two of them share a romantic moment under the sunrise, and they kiss for the first time. The next day, Wan Su attends a photo shoot with her husband, and they look happy together, but this image is nothing but an act. They have to pretend they are fine with each other for the cameras, but Wan Su's feelings are centered around Do-yoon. After the photo shoot, Wan Su talks with her husband because she wants to understand what he is thinking. Particularly, she wants to find out if Kim is afraid his brother will be the one to receive the Huane Group when the will is opened. In the meantime, Ms. Park is looking at the pictures of Wan Su with Do-yoon, and she is considering if she should make them public. Han asks her to consider how this move will affect the future, and he reminds her that her husband's will is going to be opened by the end of this month. Later, Han sees Wan Su returning to the house and gets mad. He slaps Lee Jin for being incompetent and reminds her that he can hurt her family in China if she fails to do what he is asking of her. Lee Jin apologizes, and she promises that she is going to finish what she started. That evening, Kim returns to the house as well, and his mother waits for him to show him an article about Wan Su. As it appears, the old lady has published the photos, and an article has been written about Wan Su having a secret affair with her bodyguard. Kim gets angry at his mother because he believes she is trying to ruin his life. The conversation turns into a fight that reveals that the two of them have some unresolved issues of the past. Kim recalls that Ms. Park cheated on his father with Mr. Han, and she did not even try to hide it from her son. Ms. Park defends herself by saying that her husband used to treat her poorly, so she could not love him anymore. In any case, Kim is not pleased with her words, and he leaves the room. The next morning, Han pays bail so Wan Su's brother can be released and asks him to get the ledgers back from Do-yoon. The brother meets with the bodyguard, but Do-yoon tells him that he needs to be more suspicious of Mr. Han. He adds that he has read the ledgers. If they go public, Ms. Park will go to jail. Finally, the bodyguard tells him that Mr. Han might be working against Ms. Park while he pretends that he is on her side. That night, Do-yoon visits Han's house again and manages to open the safe by reviewing the footage on the secret camera he had installed. While going through some files, he realizes that Kim's brother is Mr. Han's son. Later, Kim visits Han to blame him for his father's death. He believes that Han killed his father because he despised Kim's brother. In other words, the chairman knew that Kim's brother was not his own son. Han denies everything, but Kim keeps attacking him. He claims that Han wants a part of his father's wealth. Han would love for his son to get a piece of it, but Kim firmly suggests that he is going to be the only person who will inherit Huane Group. After this conversation, Kim has another meeting with Do-yoon and aims a rifle at him, asking him if he has slept with his wife. Do-yoon changes the subject and talks about the chairman's death, explaining that he suspects a murder case. Kim asks for proof, and Do-yoon tells him that his police officer friend is dead. He died while he was investigating the chairman's death, which means there is something more going on behind the scenes. Wan Su joins them, but that only makes Kim more angry. He asks his wife if the two of them love each other, and then asks her to snap out of it, because this guy has come here with an ulterior motive. Wan Su says that doesn't matter. They should just allow Do-yoon to continue his investigation and find out what happened to the chairman. Then she hugs Kim to calm him down while Do-yoon walks out of the room. The day to open the will finally comes, and the lawyers start reading it. The chairman has a fund of 18 trillion won, and he donates everything to Now Foundation. Furthermore, the will notes that only Wan Su can withdraw those funds if she visits the Swiss bank where they are kept in person and puts her signature on the papers. After the reading of the will, Kim reveals to his half-brother Min the truth about their parents. Min has a talk with Han to ask him if he's really his father. As they talk about their relation and the money, a flashback reveals that Min was the one who killed the chairman and Mr. Han helped him cover up the murder. After all of this drama, Kim wants to be closer to his son and takes him to the park to have a talk with him. As it appears, the kid is smart and knows what's going on. Kim tells him that his mother can't live with them at the mansion, but the kid can if he wishes to. However, the kid replies that he wants to live with his mother because she will not have anyone if he leaves her. On the other hand, Kim already has a big family in the mansion. In the meantime, Won-Soo's brother and Do-yoon make a plan to hand the ledgers to Han and tell him that the brother convinced the bodyguard to give them to him. But when Han gets the ledgers, Lee Jin appears behind the brother and attacks him with a knife. Do-yoon runs after her and injures her on her back, but the female assassin manages to run away. Do-yoon takes the brother to the hospital, but the latter dies. That night, Han reports the ledgers to the authorities, and Ms. Park is called for a statement the next day. Han tells her that Won-Soo's brother was the one who tried to burn her, but he has arranged everything and nothing is going to happen to her. This way, he earns her trust even more. The next day, though, Ms. Park is arrested for embezzling money from Now Foundation. The old lady is mad at Mr. Han and asks him to do something, but the latter plainly replies this is just a part of the process. When Do-yoon learns about this, he goes to see Won-Soo and talks to her about the evidence they have. He is afraid that they might not be able to use them in their favor if they take Han or Ms. Park to court because he has obtained them illegally. Right next, the authorities proceed to search Han's house, which reveals that the report has been made by Won-Soo's sister-in-law. She is actually jealous because her husband Min did not receive any part of the will. Lee Jin tries to flee when she sees the police searching her boss's house, but Do-yoon follows her. Lee Jin tries to escape, but Do-yoon stops her and they start fighting. He sees a scar on her back, and he is now 100% certain that she is the one who attacked Won-Soo's brother yesterday. Eventually, Do-yoon beats her, and the police are able to arrest her because the bodyguard has her on video attacking the brother. Since she also has the scar from Do-yoon's attack on her back, it proves that she is the culprit. Later, Han digs in a place in the woods and uncovers a golden bar with blood prints on it. This bar was used by Min to kill the chairman. Then he visits Ms. Park in prison to tell her that she should confess she hired somebody to kill Won-Soo. If she does not do it, then he will give the golden bar to the police, and they will be able to pin the murder on her son. While all of this is taking place, Min is blinded by rage because he is not getting any of the money from the will. So he visits the mansion and threatens to shoot Kim if he does not give him a portion of the money. Han joins the scene and grabs the rifle to shoot Kim, but the latter jumps him and a fight ensues. Kim tells him that he is never going to be anything more than an insect because he is a man with no ethical code. Min grabs the rifle and shoots Kim a couple of times. Won-Soo rushes near him and grabs his hand. In his dying breath, Kim tells his wife that he really loved her, but he did not know how to express himself. Han orders Min to erase the CCTV footage and then leave the mansion. Then he calls the police to tell them that he wants to report a member and wipes the fingerprints off the rifle. When the police arrive, Han tells them that Won-Soo killed her husband while she tells her side of the story. Of course, the police can't make any sense right now, so they take her down the station to get their statements. Do-yoon searches around the mansion for Min, and he finds him hiding in a closet. When he is taken by the police officers, Min is tested and gunpowder is found on him, while none of it is found on Won-Soo. The technicians also recover the deleted CCTV footage, and they discover that Won-Soo rushed into the room when she heard the first gunshot. With that, Won-Soo is released while Min is taken to jail. In the meantime, Ms. Park states to the authorities that she was the one who ordered Lee Jin to kill Won-Soo. These developments and a dose of blackmail make Mr. Han the new CEO of Hwayne Group. But this is not going to last long, since Do-yoon has some video footage of him receiving the ledgers from Ms. Park. Do-yoon hands that footage to the authorities, and Han is arrested as well. Finally, Won-Soo is free to live her life, while Do-yoon returns to work for the police. As for Han, his son finds him in prison and tries to attack him before being stopped by the guards. 1 year later, Do-yoon meets with Won-Soo at the airport as she is getting ready to fly to Tanzania for charity work. Do-yoon tells her that he is not a bodyguard anymore, and he shows her a shirt revealing that he is going to be a volunteer and fly with her.